podcast, it's revealed. For the breakdown, let's ignite. Black and gold, we're taking flight. Every story, every fight. For the breakdown, every night.
What is going on, Boiler Nation? It is Tuesday, January 14th, and you're listening to another episode of the Boiler Breakdown Podcasts. I'm one of your hosts, Evan Webb. Tanner is, I don't know, he's got something going on right now. He'll be on later, hopefully. But in the meantime, we've got our good friend Aaron Lynch to help us out here. What's going on, Aaron?
Not too much. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Nothing else going on tonight. There's any other Big Ten game is kind of boring right now as we watch the obliteration that's going on down south.
I'm actually still wondering if they actually are happy about that.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some. So, yeah, a ton of people left at halftime. But anyways, Boilers go 2-0 since our last episode with a trip out to Piscataway. Boilers had a kind of pretty kind of cruise to an easy victory. Pull up the score right now. I just blanked. Boilers won by a score of 68-50.
Yeah.
Just kind of dominate all facets of the game at a place that's kind of been borderline house of horrors for Purdue. I know they won last year, but it's always been a tough place to play. And then followed it up with just an absolute beatdown of Nebraska, kind of payback for last year when they beat Purdue down in Lincoln by a score of 104-68. So Purdue went 2-0. A lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I was last week we were kind of
Harper not like still
that's
lingering effects
huge.
in the flu.
Yeah,
Ace Bailey played very well.
Yeah, he had like 17, but it was on 15 shots, so it wasn't the most efficient night for him. But I mean, their problem is just don't have anybody else who can step up.
Correct, and you really were leaning both on those freshmen hard.
Yeah. We can kind of get into that game. It was a score. Yeah, Purdue was up 9 at halftime. It was really Purdue should have been up by a lot more had they actually been able to hit shots. That was the biggest problem. Is I just kind of felt like they had so many chances just to blow that game wide open and really make Rutgers quit.
But Rutgers never went on more than if I recall right, it's more than a 6-0 run.
Yeah, it was something. Yeah, they couldn't. Purdue gave them chances to kind of get back in it a little bit, and just they couldn't do it either. Like I said, Dylan Harper. He was not the player that he seems to be getting back to. He had a really good game last night. All things considering his couple last performances, coming back from the flu. But outside of that, I mean, they didn't really have anybody step up. I mean, you had, like I said, Bailey had 17, but no other. They had one other guy in double figures.
Yeah, Cuff.
Yeah. I mean, Williams, the starter, didn't score. Harper had 6 on 9 shots. Their 2 other starters had 2 points apiece. Like, it's interesting. I mean, it definitely seems like they've obviously blew all their money on 2 players and couldn't get the great supporting cast around them.
And both will probably be gone as well.
99.9% chance they're going to be gone. I get to a point. I get to a point if they lose enough games, do they just sit out? Like, are we going to see them in Mackey at the end of the year? I mean, I don't think that'll happen, but you never know. I mean, if it gets bad to where after that game, people were talking like they had to fight just to make the Big Ten tournament, let alone the NCAA tournament.
I don't think they would, because I mean, if you want to put that on for NBA scouts that you quit on your team, I mean that's going to affect your draft stock, probably potentially being a number 1 pick. I understand Cooper Flagg's probably going to be up there.
1, yeah, they'll be 2 and 3.
They're going to be in the top 5.
Yeah.
Both of them.
I mean, who's that kid who played for Duke a couple years ago who quit halfway through? He still got picked in the lottery, I'm pretty sure.
He got picked in the lottery. I know who you're talking about. I can't remember his exact name, but he hasn't done much in the league either.
But yeah, it was we got a comment from Ted Berkey. Keep up the intensity. Last few games have been fun, but title is still online. Absolutely, it's in Big Ten's just getting rolling. There's a lot of good teams. I think you can confidently say the top 4: Michigan State, Michigan, Illinois, and Purdue. with a couple teams kind of
Did you say Michigan State or Michigan?
both.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Michigan State might be the best team right now. Illinois can show it. But then obviously they have their performance like they had on Saturday against USC. Granted, they were out without their best player, but yeah, it's going to be a interesting last 2 months of the season. That's for sure.
It'll definitely be an interesting February. I do want to go. I don't know if you guys said this last week on the pod, but definitely since the lineup change on the starting lineup, the turnovers went down like 30 turnovers in the last 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
Really impressive.
Yeah.
Braden probably, if he continues, is definitely first team All-American. No doubt about it. But the turnovers, like what we saw in those 4 losses, have definitely decreased. So something clicked after getting waxed by Auburn.
Yeah. And I think part of that too is just like those specific teams just being the teams they are causing problems, which
long lengthy wings.
Yeah, Purdue won't see a ton of that in the Big Ten. But still they'll still see their their fair share of elite teams. But yeah, since the lineup change, really since that second half of Minnesota, it's just been really, really good. I mean, the fact that, and I tweeted it from our Twitter account today, but just like also the defense has picked up. I mean, we're not we're turning people over more than I thought we would. But if you look at the top points per game leaders in the Big Ten, you've got Dylan Harper and Nick Martinelli, Ace Bailey, Bryce Williams, Dawson Garcia, John Tonji, Brooks Barnheiser, Trey Coffin-Wren, Bruce Thornton, and Peyton Sanford. Purdue's played 1 through 5 and number 7 on that list, and they've held everybody below their average except for Dawson Garcia. Bailey had 17. He was just off his by like a 2 points, but he did again on 15 shots. Harper, we held to 6 points. Granted, he was 6, so I kind of give that a pass. Martinelli had 10 points. Like I said, Bailey had 17 points on 15 shots. Williams for Nebraska had 9 points, and 2 of those came on a technical from Miles Colvin. That was whatever. Garcia had 20 points. He's the one who scored above his average. And Barnheiser had 11 points on 15 shots. So they're playing really good defense as of late since starting Big Ten back up.
And I was also listening to Brian's comments in the game, him talking about being this close Purdue team, like knit group that he has seen. And I think that continuity is definitely that's visible on defense for sure. In regards to switching off, you would know better than me playing basketball and everything. In regards to that communication, that's definitely key on the defensive end. And definitely rotating and helping have a help defender come when needed and everything. And that's definitely shown. Those 2 big things, I would love to see where we'd stack up against like an Auburn right now.
Right. Yeah.
And since the change, because I mean, I feel it's a night and day different team than what we've seen in December. Definitely guys are getting into the role, and that's probably going to be their role the rest of the season. I would say I'm happy to see First after this many years finally be contributing. But I think Brian said this, like, it's your last year, you got to do something.
Yeah, it was either like he was going to do it or he was going to ride the bench and go to med school next year regardless. So I haven't been to a game at Mackey since they've changed the lineup, but I know when I went to the Toledo game before the lineup change, it just felt like where I said I'm pretty close to the court. I feel like I couldn't really hear a whole lot of, granted, I mean, and it's also loud in there, but I feel like I couldn't hear a whole lot of communication as much as you probably should on defense. And I wonder now, like with First being in there now, he just feels like he's a bit more vocal of a guy. I wonder if that's really helped from a communication aspect on defense. I think was a part of the problem with this team pre-lineup change was just kind of getting out of sorts, which it was just kind of come with time too. But I think, Caleb getting in there and then CJ, kind of adding another pseudo ball handler in there and just a guy who's going to get after on defense has been awesome. I mean, he had 4 steals on Sunday. That's incredible. But like Braden, like you said, is putting up awesome numbers. And I saw the tweet today. I can't go back and find it, but it was like he has the potential to put up stats that only one other person in the country has ever done, and that was Jason Kidd. If you're,
I saw. Let me ask this because I'm going to jump ahead a little bit.
Mhm.
Scott Skiles owned the assist record in the Big Ten.
I think so. I can look it up. Yeah, that sounds right.
Because I started wondering to myself, could he? If I believe it's Scott Skiles, and in the comments keep us honest. If he, I'm starting to wonder, could he break that next year at this point?
Yeah, that's a good. I'm trying to find it. No, it's Cassius Winston.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Actually, the top two guys are Michigan State guys. You got Cassius Winston and Mateen Cleaves. I think it's his assist, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Cassius Winston has 890. Braden right now is 8. Assuming, I'm not sure how up to date this Sports Reference site is it, but Braden's already top 20. He's at number 18.
How many?
With at 602. And he's got AJ Hogarth at 609, Jeff Horner at 612, Ubui at 618, Yogi Ferrell at 633, Denzel Valentine 639, Tim Frazier at 641, Scott Skiles at 645. Like he could jump up to top 10 easily by the end of the year. Like
he probably get there easily.
Yeah, if he gets up to 700. Which, you're talking, he's been averaging 10 assists lately. Your Bryant McIntosh is number 7 with 700 right now. Okay. And then George Bohan, 704, Gary Grant, 731. If he hits his average, like you're probably talking, he could be top 5 by the end. If he keeps, and we make some deep runs, he could be top 5 by the end of the year, which is nuts.
Even if we went 3 NCAA tournament games, I'm talking Big Ten tournament games. If we make finals, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 games, right? Unless we get the double bye.
Yeah, if you get double bye, you got at most 3, and then 1 game in the NCAA tournament. That's
4 extra games.
It's awesome. Yeah,
I have a feeling that's going to be on watch come December next year. Well, December this year. Sorry, December this year.
There's potential again, he's got to obviously keep this up, but he could set the NCAA record. Like he could set the NCAA record, not let alone Big Ten. He's that.
Is Pistol Pete on that?
Let's see. Bobby Hurley, 1,076 in 140 games.
Wow.
Yep. I did hear that the other day. I did hear that was Bobby Hurley. Yeah.
The games is just that's wild.
Yeah.
That's a whole different era too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was 89 to 90 and 92 to 93.
You're not pushing pace. You're literally tossing it down low.
Yeah. Yeah.
In that case, it was Leitner was on those teams, right?
Yep, for a couple of those teams, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was just give it to Leitner and get out of the way.
Yeah.
But he's been awesome. Fletch has been playing really well. That game on Sunday was wild. Just some of the shots that he was hitting.
He has stepped up from sophomore year to junior year. The improvement's been vast.
Yeah, and him getting to the rim, he's I texted Tanner and Andrew this during the game, kind of joking, but kind of not. I think the person I trust the most, going to the rim and converting, is Fletcher Lawyer. Because he just always seems he's so crafty. He's able just to somehow make it happen. Because he's such a smart player. I hope he gets a shot at the NBA. I know he's obviously not the quickest or most athletic, but man, he can shoot and he just knows the game so well. He'll make a hell of a coach one day, hopefully on PJ Thompson's staff.
I think, what's his name? He used to play for the Heat. Jason, I want to say Kopech, but that's not right. He reminds me of him because I'm going to look up his name real quick, but he literally was just a perimeter player, 3 and D. I don't think Fletcher could actually make the league 3 and D because I think defensively he's too slow, but he could definitely be a specialist in regards to a spot up 3 guy.
Yeah.
He's definitely quick enough to get to an open shot. That's for sure. He can't, I think, stay in front of defenders long enough. I mean,
yeah.
It's already evident it's evident with Zach. I mean, Zach has done a decent job, but also he's 7'4", and that helps a lot.
Yeah.
But I think going back to Rutgers game really quick, we can tie a bow on that. 16 points from PKR, 16 points from Braden, 14 assists.
2 turnovers, like that was awesome. Laura 13 points, 3 boards. 1 of 6 shootings. That was one of his worst shooting games this season. First was 7, CJ with 5, Cam with 6, Jakari with 3, which I thought was hilarious. Like Purdue was kind of in that drought, and the person who broke the drought was Jakari Harris, who was like of all people to break it, the guy who was shooting like 18%. Raleigh with 2. I mean, for the game, Purdue shot 4 of 24, so 16.7% from 3.
We can't shoot well there at all. It's beyond. I don't know if it's like the scenery behind, because it is a weird arena.
Yeah,
like, if that's the case, but like the wins that we've won there, it's been on post play.
Yeah, I mean, it got out rebounded by 2. So if you told me that Purdue shot 16% from 3 and got out rebounded, I would have been like, oh my god, it's one of those games at the rack, and they blew them out.
Correct. Besides the Jaden Ivey 3.
Yeah. But it was just a good road win, and then obviously come back on Sunday and for a nooner and against a team that has given, it's kind of another one of those teams that has kind of given Purdue, it's been a thorn on the Purdue side over the last couple of years. And then just from the jump, Purdue just absolutely plastered them. It was wild to see.
It's hard, them blowing a lead against Iowa. I expected a better effort from a Hoiberg coach team, prepared, especially a team that got in the tournament. Hey, it's turned the corner on this program. To come out and not lay an egg in the first half, and then I was like, all right, they're going to show some fight in the second half. Nope.
Yep.
Nope. I don't know if they packed it in, just said we're going to burn the tape, kind of whatever. But I'm like, you can't burn 2 games in a row.
Right.
That's not baseball. Sorry.
Yeah. It was just one of those games where, things were clicking. Mackey was rolling. It was just kind of one of those, like, it happens a couple times a year where just you like it just you kind of have to just tip your cap as the opponent. I feel like that was the exact thing that happened to us last year at Lincoln, where they were just unconscious. Purdue could do nothing right. They could do no wrong. It was just one of those, like, well, this sucks. Just kind of get through it and get on to the next one.
The CJ going pretty much nuts on Sunday was
probably
what they expected as all.
Right. I mean, he's probably like he's probably on the scouting report simply because he's a starter. Like, that's probably all. Like, they've got the big 3 obviously, and then they probably have, I'm assuming, Cam and Heidi come off the bench as people to look out for, but I can't imagine CJ Cox is very high on the scouting report.
They're probably like, hey, he's going to get a bucket here or there. Don't.
Yeah, he
we don't
has
need
ability to
rotate.
shoot. Yeah. We can just go into some stats just real quick. CJ led the way with 23 points, 5 of 7 from 3, 9-11 from the field. His first miss came with like 8 minutes left in the game. Fletcher 19 points, 5 of 6 from 3. TKR 15 points, 7 assists, no turnovers. That's incredible. Braden Smith 8 points, 14 assists. Not a good shooting night for him. 2 of 6 from 3, 3 away from the field. Played 30 minutes. Nice to see him kind of get some rest towards the end. Caleb played, had scored 2, had 3 boards. Not his best game, but I think he did a really good job. Just again on the defensive end, just rotations, kind of making things difficult for Nebraska. Miles with 14 off the bench, 4 of 8 from 3. His kind of came late. Jakari 6 points, 2 of 3 from 3. Raleigh with 5. Brian Waddell with 5, and then Cam, Big Willie Iceberg, Sam King, and Jace Rail with 2 apiece, and then Jace had 1. But Purdue for the game shot 19 of 33, 57.6% from 3. Shot 61% in the first half, 55 in the second half. I guess the one thing you want to nitpick is they were only 3 of 6 from the free throw line, so they shot 50% from the line. If you want to nitpick, Trey
You know
went
the
1
coaching
for
staff's
1.
going to nitpick on that.
Oh yeah, Trey went 1 for 1. Caleb went 0 for 2, and Raleigh went 1 for 1, and then Jace went 1 for 2 at the end. But yeah, just I mean, how many 11 steals as a team? That's got to be one of the highest totals we've had in a while. Only 10 turnovers. We forced 17. Purdue had 22 points off turnovers compared to Nebraska's 11. Purdue had 37 bench points. 14 second chance points compared to Nebraska's 4.
That's just effort.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like that. That's when I saw that stat, I was like, you could just tell by watching those guys. I don't know what it was. The coaching staff didn't click for them, but when you blow that lead to Iowa, you got to put your big boy pants on. I mean, it's Big Ten. Yeah, you're going to the hardest place to play in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Come on, you got to show some effort.
Yeah. Purdue with 34 points to paint got, Nebraska had 38. So there was outscored there. But yeah, just one of those games where
when
it was just, it was just, again, one of those where I just couldn't believe I was watching it and couldn't believe it. It was almost like, man, save some for the West Coast trip. Because I was like, I was tweeting back and forth with the Nebraska pod that we follow, and I was just like, well, one, this is payback for last year, and then it just kind of felt like after the shooting woes at Rutgers, that it was like a bunch of makes were going to come Purdue's way, and what better way to do it than at Mackey with the place rocking, with students kind of making their way back. But
it's a good week to go 2-0, move up 17th this week.
Yep,
and
big stretch here.
Definitely a big stretch here. I think this is going to be the hardest week, just because of time change.
Mm-hmm.
But we can talk about that, I guess, unless you want to tie bow real quick on this.
Yeah,
game.
I know Tanner's getting ready to hop on here. He just texted me, so we can maybe get his thoughts here quickly. If we want an update, under 4 timeout, Illinois is up 90-61 for a timestamp here. Where's the other Big Ten game? Oh, it hasn't started yet. Ohio State at Wisconsin. We can go ahead and we can pay some bills here while we wait on Tanner to get his butt on here. First, we want to thank our sponsor, Mad Mushroom. Home of the original cheese sticks. It's been served in Potomac Nation for years. Whenever we're on campus, we'd like to stop in, get some pizza, get some cheese sticks, get a nice ice cold beer. But next time you are on campus, stop in. Use obviously tell them we sent you, or you can use promo code BREAK5 if you're ordering online. You get $5 off any order over 20, and we can do their pizza of the month if I can find it here for January. It feels like January has been going on for 3 weeks. It's only been 2. Halfway through the month, we have the Greek, I always forget, is it Gyro pizza with garlic and herb sauce, Gyro meats, onions, black olives, and feta with mozzarella cheeses, finished with tomatoes and cucumber and a word Tanner can never pronounce, tzatziki sauce drizzle. I like tzatziki sauce.
It is good.
Get that for the rest of the month. Let me take one of these banners off because until I'm not the normal one here. Starts at $14, so get 2 of those or get another pizza. If you're ordering online, use promo code BREAK5 and you get $5 off. Of course, want to thank Mad Mush for once again. They've been with us since really the beginning, so we appreciate them being on board once again in 2024, 2025. And we look forward to having them on for hopefully years to come. And I need to get back down there and actually stop in there. I haven't been to Mad Mush in a while.
Feed your head.
Absolutely. Kind of looking around the Big Ten. What are your, before we have Tanner hop on here, we can kind of and take a break and then finish this one later. What are your thoughts around the Big Ten right now?
I think Wisconsin is definitely surprising to me. Definitely offensively. That's been the biggest surprise, I think, for this season. I wonder, buyer's remorse if Ohio State's thinking, because that game's next on the night. If Ohio State's thinking buyer's remorse on Diebler.
That was a tough situation because obviously, they had that little interim coach bump, but like I just felt like, man, you're Ohio State. Like I know they're not like they haven't been the basketball school that they were under Thad Matta, but it's like you've got like I think they had a chance to really. I mean, I know there's a lot of other schools open at the time, but it's like I think you had a chance to really get a really good coach. But there I also heard things where like if they didn't keep Dealer, then a lot of guys were going to leave. So who knows? But we got Tanner back on it. Thank God. I'm struggling out here. How's it going, T-Dog?
Hey guys, how's it going? Lynch, I like the hat.
Yeah.
Good
Smash
looking
that
hat.
like button.
Good like that. Yeah, smash it. I like it. Double meeting there.
We had we just kind of got done wrapping up the two blowouts from this last week. We were kind of just talking Big Ten as a whole. I mentioned that at the under 4 timeout, Illinois was up 90-61.
What an embarrassing effort by Indiana.
Man, that's bad.
They're going to be on their 6th head coach next year in 25 years.
Yeah, it's wild.
Unless things
No,
somehow turn around.
I think some people are happy this happened tonight.
I think you're right. I think
they want him gone. And I was telling Evan before, I said I think they're going to make it graceful and say you can retire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. They always wanted one of their own. And they picked one of their own, even though he had never had success as an NBA head coach. Don't know why they thought this was going to work.
Timeout, he did, but it was with a superstar.
Okay.
You're like 500 record though.
I remember more of the Hawks and the Knicks failing on those teams than I do. But yeah, you're right though.
But going back to Purdue's 2 games, Tanner, what are your kind of thoughts overall? I mean, you can kind of just give.
Yeah, it was a good week. Didn't really have to worry too much. I was a little mad at halftime of the Rutgers game, being only up 9 when Rutgers had like a bajillion turnovers in the first half. I thought Purdue should have been up at least 15, but they stepped on their throats in the second half. Didn't let them get back in it too much. I mean, they got in it for a little bit, but and then Sunday
got down to 5, and I was like, oh my God, are we really going to do this?
Blown open at around the 9-minute mark.
Yeah.
And then Sunday, I only watched the first half, and I saw highlights of the second half. But I don't think Purdue could play much better than they did Sunday. It was kind of one of those Mackey Magic type games, and everything they threw up was going in. But I really thought, we're starting to see the emergence of C.J. Cox. Jakari Harris starting to find himself. Miles Colvin even had a pretty good week. And then Caleb Furst is just doing the little things. And Matt Painter gets paid the big bucks for a reason. He knew when it was time to switch up the starting lineup, and especially on the defensive end. And I know they're not playing murderer's row, Minnesota, Northwestern at home, Nebraska, and at Rutgers, even though Rutgers has 2 top 10 picks, most likely top 10 picks next year. But still to hold all those teams under 75 points, pretty impressive.
I know Jerry wants one of them.
God. Jerry needs to sell the team. That's what he needs to do. Oh my God. Don't get me started.
2 teams.
2 teams.
I think he'll keep the one. I think he'll keep the one. The Bulls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think he'd be more likely to sell the White Sox than the Bulls. I think you're right.
Anyway,
Go ahead. That's why they changed the name of the field again.
That
did?
wasn't. Yes,
it's because it's now Rate Field because Guaranteed Rate changed their name to Rate.
Oh.
It's still dumb as hell.
If anyone on this podcast is a White Sox fan, go check out their Facebook post in the comments people left today.
Oh God.
Very, very entertaining. And anywho, are we ready to get on to this week?
Yeah. Absolutely.
The West Coast swing.
Yep.
Before we get in this, are they staying out there this week?
They have to.
Yeah.
Surely they're not flying back.
No. Every team that's gone out there so far has stayed out there.
And same vice versa. Like I know, like what UCLA was, or was it them? Or like USC, they played at Illinois, then played, or Indiana played at Illinois, so they stayed out here.
Yeah.
I was actually wondering if they were going to hop on a flight at like
that'd be so dumb. That'd defeat the purpose.
3 a.m. and go back, get here, and then turn around, fly right back.
Yeah. I'm sure. I wonder where they're going to stay. Like, if they're like where they'll practice. They'll go to like Portland or something. I have no idea.
Abandoned dunes.
Maybe
You
stay
know,
at,
if the NBA would actually get the Sonics back, they could have practiced at their facilities. But that's a podcast for another day.
Anyhow, they'll have a place to go. Glad they're not traveling back because I was going to say then Saturday's a loss at this point.
Yeah.
But going in late tip on Wednesday night.
late tip.
I don't remember a game this late.
I mean, usually it's been 9 o'clock for Eastern time. I know you're on Central time, but I know 9's usually been the latest we've had, and I feel like we haven't had many 9 o'clocks in the last couple of years.
Yeah, outside the NCAA tourney, this is pretty rare.
Correct.
Yeah.
I remember that one year when we beat Old Dominion, the Elite Eight run with Carson. That game came on like at 10:30, 10:45. That was a real late start.
Yeah, I feel like ever since they got the new deal, that kind of, I feel like it was more of like an ESPN stupid thing.
I was going to say even the Maui tournament's not even that late.
No.
Yeah. But looking at Washington, I just saw because they played Michigan. They are what?
Not good. That's
1-5 in the Big Ten, 10-7 overall.
Their one wins against Maryland.
Yeah, I mean, oddly, kind of a team. At least I know a player and coach that Purdue somewhat familiar with, since this was a guy who coached Utah State last year, and they saw Osibor in the tournament where they kicked their teeth in. In the Big Ten, let's see, they lost to Michigan on Sunday. Lost at home to Illinois by 4. They were down big and then kind of came back, kind of gave them a fight late. Got blown out at Michigan State by 34. Lost at UCLA back in December by 11, and lost at home to USC by 24. So not going great out there in Seattle.
Welcome to the Big Ten, Danny.
Yeah, Osibor, their leading scorer with 14. Not having Zach will be interesting because Zach kind of just took his lunch money in the tournament. So it'll be interesting to see how Purdue matches up with him. I'm sure he'll be looking for maybe a little bit of revenge. But I forgot he's only 6'8". I thought he was a 7-footer, but he's only 6'8". So hopefully Trey or Caleb can match up with him pretty well.
Speaking of Trey, I heard a stat today that blew my mind. He only has 3 blocks on the season.
I would have guessed the under.
Man. Crazy.
I mean, this team. I mean, how many blocks do we have as a team? I can't imagine it's very many.
Yeah, probably not.
I feel like Jacobson probably had more blocks than Trey, and he played 1 game.
That's a good point. Good point. So, and that just goes back to like the teams Purdue's beaten during this 5-game winning streak. They can take advantage of their teams with their style of play. But Purdue's ran into troubles, of course, with the Auburns and the Penn States and the Marquettes and the A&Ms, the bigger teams that can also pressure.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting here in the next couple of weeks when we start playing teams that are a little bigger. See how we can adjust. But
yeah.
Is this our first time ever playing Alaska Airlines Arena?
I believe it. The only time I remember playing Washington was in the second round of the 2009 tournament.
When they had
a home and home
face
with them.
Well, I'll look it up.
Yeah. Who was the guy for Washington when we beat him in the tournament?
They had Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah.
They had John Brockman. They had Quincy Poindexter. That was a pretty good team.
Yes, it was. I mean, you had a couple NBA players there because I was thinking Fultz, but I think Fultz was later.
Yeah, Nate Robinson was before that too. Let's see here. Purdue's history versus Washington. 1-0, 76-74 on March 21st, 2009. Aaron and I watched that game together, or part of the game together, as we went to watch our high school. Evan, you went with us, didn't you?
What game was this?
Semi-state game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
down Lafayette Jeff.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then we went to B-Dubs and watched half.
Well, actually, I don't think I went with you guys. I know I went to the game. I think I went with my family and maybe just met up with you guys. Because weren't you the mascot, Aaron?
Yes.
Yes, he was.
That was the game.
That's the one I ran over the cop.
Yeah. No, we had a felon on the podcast.
Yeah, there's a reason he didn't get asked back. Flip me off when I was in the crowd. And I don't think Purdue's ever played Oregon in basketball. Not finding anything.
Really?
I was going to say, I don't remember either playing on any of these like their home courts out there, like any home series.
I figured we hadn't played there, but I figured we at least play them in some sort of like non-con tourney or tournament.
We played
itself.
Oregon State. We played Oregon State once.
Huh.
Remember that game? God, I forgot about that game till right now. You guys remember that game? We were all in college. It was during the
Oregon State
12-13 season. It was
I have blocked out those couple of years.
Well, night before we got screwed against Villanova. DJ Bird, they called him for an elbow in the guy. And then the next night, Oregon State beat us 66-58.
I'm sure I watched that at your apartment, but man, couldn't tell you.
In Madison Square Garden. November 16th, 2012.
So we played Clemson later next month, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, that was when we actually won that game, right? Because DJ Bird went off. I remember I was recording a radio show at Wiley during that time. So I was following
Good times. Good times.
Yeah. Tangent. I'm feeling better about Washington. The Oregon game makes me nervous. I mean, really, they both do, just because never been to these arenas before.
Yeah.
Obviously the travel, which I know the team went out there earlier than I normally. I think usually they would go out like tonight, but they went out early this afternoon to get acclimated. Purdue should take care of business. But, I mean, this team gave Illinois a good game. We've seen how good Illinois can be. But I think this Purdue team has been playing really, really good basketball. Definitely their best stretch of the entire season by a long shot. I'm
anxious to see what the environment's going to be like. I mean, you would think even at Washington, even though they're down, you think they would get pumped up to have the defending national runners up coming in, team ranked 17th, but I still don't think it'll be a sold out crowd or anything. I think the more hostile environment will be Saturday against Oregon.
Yep.
That's a big one if they want to stay in the Big Ten race, which I said this yesterday on one of my other podcasts I do. I think the Big Ten race is a 4-horse race.
Yeah.
I think it's Purdue, Illinois, and the 2 Michigan schools.
Yeah. And then you got a couple schools kind of on the fringe there with Oregon. Probably throw Wisconsin on there right now. And that's kind of about it. And then you got.
Should you throw Iowa on there maybe?
I think Iowa
probably could. Yeah. I can't.
They live and die by the three.
Yeah.
They don't play any defense.
No.
Yeah.
They're a team I consider lurking, not loitering.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a very good point.
Yeah, that's very true.
Maybe we should have that segment, lurking or loitering.
They're a team that you get so frustrated when you're losing 2-2. Because at times there's 5 Caucasian guys out there playing. They're just whooping on their trading threes. Just saying.
Well, the whole thing, like the Owen Freeman said after their game against Indiana, was like, it wasn't a co-freshman of the year. It's like, shut up, dude. Yeah, it was. Okay.
Got a comment from RB here on YouTube. Disrespect Oregon all you want. Enjoy the game and the L. All right, we will see.
Appreciate you checking us out.
Glad the game's on NBC. I got no problem with Peacock. I think they do a pretty good job. But basketball on NBC is pretty cool. So.
I can't remember the last game I've watched on NBC.
I'm looking at Purdue sports. Tanner, I'm guessing you're looking at the same thing. There's nothing on Oregon.
No,
that's wild. That surprises me.
Yeah.
Especially Burke scheduling the football games too.
That's true.
Yeah.
I would have expected a basketball series to be put in there too.
If I remember correctly, that football home and home had to do with something. Tiller was close with somebody in the athletic department out of Oregon at the time. So that got scheduled. I don't know though. I could be remembering that wrong.
I feel like there's been a few times where they could have matched up in the tournament, and then one or both the teams end up getting bounced before then.
Been in the same bracket.
Yes, I mean, same bracket. Yeah, quite a few times.
Yeah. But when I think Oregon basketball, I think of Luke Ridnour, Luke Jackson, Fred Jones, slam dunk champion.
I forgot Fred Jones went there. I forgot he went there.
I know they've had other good teams. I mean, of course, they went to the Final Four a handful of years ago. But those are the 3 guys I think of right away.
Yeah.
Back in the
Dana's
day.
a good coach. I mean, Dana's a really good coach.
Yeah, he's a really good coach.
Good recruiter.
You don't think of Durate?
Not right off my head, those other 3 come to mind, but
Durate is the only one, just because Pacers drafted him. He was a 26-year-old rookie. He's on the Bulls.
I think I'm Peyton
forgot.
Pritchard because I
about
really
him.
want Braden Smith to kind of follow that model and go into the league.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. This is the first time we're witnessing something like this in our lifetime. There's not a lot of first, but this being a first on Saturday is
Well,
going to be crazy.
like I'm trying to think in my mind. Have we ever played USC in basketball? I know we played UCLA multiple times, but we ever played USC? I don't know.
I'll look it up real quick. I'm on the website still.
I know we played them in football, of course, in the Rose Bowl, and then
played
in
a
Breeze's
ton.
first start in '98. But yeah,
And if we haven't, I'd be blown away.
You're looking at kind of just Oregon. Let's see here. They're ranked 13th. I forgot they were doing. Yeah, they just won at Penn State on Sunday by 1.
hit a 3 with like under 20 seconds left. To take the
I
lead.
didn't get a chance to watch the game. They also won at Ohio State, so their East Coast swing. They took care of business. Won by 2 at Ohio State. Beat Maryland at home by 4. Illinois went out there and thrashed them. That was pretty surprising. It was a really good win by Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
And then they, let's see here. They played the two other West Coast schools, 2 of them. Anyways, they played one at USC by 8, and then lost at home to UCLA by 2. Yeah, I remember watching that game. That was a really good game against UCLA.
I think they've had four wins this year where they've been down 4 points or more with 4 minutes left and end up winning the game.
Yeah. Let's see here. Their center is their leading scorer, Biddle. I don't know, 7-footer. So obviously, how big is he? 7 foot.
They made the tourney last year, if you remember right. They got hot in the last Pac-12 tournament.
I think because they were in our bracket, weren't they? Because there was potential that because they played Creighton. Was that it?
Creighton beat them in the second round. Yep.
I still see. I was like, man, if they do beat, I don't know if I'd want to. I'm not sure if I want to play them because they were just getting so hot. I was like, if they beat Tennessee, I know they have a kid.
The gods won't let Purdue and Tennessee not play.
I know.
If they're in the same bracket, it's happening.
I think the kid Kwame Evans Jr. He was a pretty highly rated kid at Montverde. He's a sophomore now, but he's not doing as well as I thought he was doing. But yeah, I mean, it's Dane Altman. He's been there forever. It feels like so it'll be a good game, but hopefully Purdue can come out. So what's our score predictions for the 2 games?
Go ahead, Lynch.
Washington, the game against tomorrow night's game, I'd probably say 66-48.
Oh, jeez.
I think I really believe in the starting 5 and what Brian said on Sunday in regards to them gelling. So I'm going to say that bad Washington team, Markel Fultz, Isaiah Thomas, Windexter, Nate Robinson, they don't want, all of them are walking.
Marquez Fultz. Forgot about Marquez Fultz. My God.
None of these guys are walking through the door. Yeah. So I'm expecting double digit, at least a 10-point win. Yeah. Saturday, my heart wants to tell me we're going to win. My head says we're going to lose.
Sure. Okay.
I don't know what the score kind of would be. Just it's going to be a close game, probably 50-60s. I have a hard time. We're going to go on this West Coast swing and go 2-0. Is it possible?
It'd be huge. Yeah.
It would absolutely be huge, but I think we're going to have a split 1-1 this week.
Yeah. Yeah. If they can get these 2, and then you're looking at, I know they're all 3 going to be tough, but 3 in a row at home where the crowd's going to be jumping.
Yes.
I'm feeling pretty good.
Next week's going to be, I think, the start of it. Even if we drop, let's say, Oregon, close game on Saturday, they're going to jump on the next 3 teams. Yeah.
They could really make a statement to end the month before kind of getting a gauntlet. That's the middle of February on through March. But I'll go with 2 W's this week. I kind of agree with Aaron, though. I think one's going to be more lopsided than the other. I'm going 75-60 tomorrow, Purdue. And then on Sunday, I'm going 68-64, Purdue.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I was going to do 2 dubs. Kind of the same vein. I think Washington, I'm going to say 73-64. I think they're making another kind of push lately against Illinois. And then Oregon, I'm going to say 78-74 Boilers.
Bold predictions?
Okay. Jakari Harris scores double digits both games. There's
Oh,
bold
okay.
for you.
That is bold. One thing, sidebar, I just thought we didn't talk about the fact that Caleb First posterized a future lottery pick.
Yes, he
Never
did.
mentioned that. Anyways,
Caleb's got some spring. He just doesn't
he
always
does,
finish.
yeah.
He just doesn't always finish.
Bold prediction, man. Braden ends the weekend or the weekend, I guess, with over 30 assists and less than 6 turnovers.
So how many spots would that move him up from what you and I were talking? Would that put him up to 16?
Hopefully, do I still have it up?
Tanner,
Yeah,
Evan and I were talking about the assists. We think Braden probably can break. I thought it was Scott Skiles, but it's Mateen Cleaves. No,
So
it's
if he got 30,
assist record.
he would jump from 18th to 15th. He'd pass Andrew Hogarth, Jeff Horner, and Boo Buie. It would be one behind. If he got 30 specifically, if he got more than 30, he would probably tie or pass Yogi Ferrell and be 14.
How close is he to Bruce Parkinson's career assist at Purdue?
Oh, good question.
Sorry, we're putting you to the stats. I guess while you're looking that up, I'll go with my bold prediction. Brian Waddell enters the game.
I hope for a good reason.
You know, I was talking with my dad yesterday. He's got to be the best 10th or 11th man in the country.
He has.
And I'm not saying that as a dig at all. I mean, like if we got guys in enough foul trouble to where he had to come on in a 2 or 3 minute stretch, I'd be fine. I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
Now, if he had to play a ton of minutes just because he hasn't had the experience, I'd get a little nervous. But he does fine out there.
I that's why I'm playing the both sides of it. Either it's a blowout in Washington or there's foul trouble in Oregon.
Yeah, because like at Rutgers, when Trey and Caleb both got in foul trouble, I'm like, what are we gonna do? I don't think they're gonna throw Big Willie out there.
Answer
you know, he's only missed one shot this year.
No.
Yeah,
I swear to God, he's only missed one shot. He's like 13 for 14 or 12 for 13 or something. Yeah,
very efficient player on the offense.
Yeah, it's like technically like by points, like Jacobson's like our 4th or 5th leading scorer by point average. Braden is 88 assists behind Parkinson. That would tie.
He should get that this year.
89 will give him the lead.
Yeah, he's definitely he's easily the best point guard I've seen at Purdue.
I think he's probably going to be the best point guard in Big Ten history. We were talking in this December. We think he's going to pass it this upcoming December.
Yeah, he's. I figured he'd be a solid college player, but I never thought he'd be this good.
Oh yeah.
No. And that's probably why Gonzaga wanted him, because Nembhard.
And he kicks their ass every time he plays them too.
Yeah. He's a better version of Nembhard for sure. That's for dang sure.
Yeah. He's just a psycho, and like I say this all the time, like in like the best way possible. He's just an absolute psycho. I love it.
He is, and we'll see. I think if the Waddell thing doesn't enter, I think Fletcher would win Big Ten Player of the Week. I think those honors. I think Fletcher, if he goes out and goes lights out, puts up 30, puts up 20 something, we go 2-0. Definitely, probably deserves it.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Good stuff. You guys talk any football?
Nope.
No.
We
did an ad read for Mad Mush, and that was right before you hopped on, so we still have the shot.
I don't even really know what there is to talk about there. I mean,
Todd Monken's son is now on staff. Is that right?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, there's been
Breedlove,
so many dudes.
We thought Breedlove was coming back to the team, and all of a sudden he just announced he's going to Arizona State. So that was
if that report of him getting wanting 250,000 is correct, he can get to stepping. But like Aaron and I were texting, it would be interesting to know what Purdue evaluates as or what they think fits the mold for a $250,000 player. You know, it would be interesting. But I know he led us in interceptions, but he's not worth, in my opinion, $250,000.
A 4-star lineman is what I told Tanner. Evan.
Yeah.
Another Gus Harwood. I pay that person $250,000 for sure.
So him leading us in interceptions is like me leading our intramural team in points. Didn't mean much because we lost a lot.
He got 2 in one game in the blowout against Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And the other one he
Didn't
caught,
mean
I don't
much.
even remember what game he caught that.
Is it disheartening to see all the big blue chip programs take all our talent in regards to? I think what's going to be more disheartening is that they all pan out. I know Claire's probably going to plan out. I know Health's probably going to plan out. Thieneman, we know, is going to pan out.
I'd be shocked if the others do.
If Rigby pans out in OK State, oh my gosh, I'm just going to put my head in my hands.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks, but I think, Newbert said this before, but like a lot of these guys, like sometimes your best ability is availability. Like they're, especially like the D linemen, like they get so over.
Cole Brevard and
going to Texas, and
going
who's
to
the guy?
teams.
We had guys going to Auburn and USC in the past, and they were okay at Purdue.
Branson Dean went to Miami. I think
wasn't
it Jack Sullivan went to USC, and then
I think that's
I don't remember who went to Auburn. Yeah,
but I think that's part of it. But I think it'll suck. But
it kind of is what it is. It's the landscape of college football. It sucks, but
I'm not sure what Purdue could have done to keep them outside,
especially Claire and Thieneman when they're getting 7-figure deals. Love to keep those guys, but
I actually wonder what Hell got, just because Dabo doesn't do transfers.
True,
it's his first defensive transfer ever. It's crazy.
Yes,
and that one hurts because he's an in-state kid. Yeah. So you want to keep those in-state kids, but I definitely think some of these kids too that entered the portal or backed out, went back in, whatever. The staff's probably telling them, "Hey, here's what the place you're gonna be on the team, or you have to compete for it," and then they don't want to.
Yeah. One of them, I think they're just living off some high school laurels in regards to their stats, star ranking, and stuff like that. There's no way, looking at game tape last year, you can say that this player evaluates out. A lot of these guys, you want to put on any of that tape, it's tough to watch.
Right. And of course, Odom and company are taking flyers on a lot of guys, but I also like they're bringing a lot of guys, not only from UNLV, from other stops where, some of these assistants were from, like Arkansas and even UCF. So there's some familiarity there. We're worth the gamble.
There is. I think unless this happens this week, which I wouldn't be shocked, or next week, if Ryan Brown tears it up at UNC, I would just be like, oh my gosh. But I also think Bill Belichick,
he wanted to come back, but I think he just got offered literally an offer he couldn't refuse type thing. Which if you had an offer to go play for the best coach of all time, it'd be hard to turn down.
Who's very pissed off right now? I guarantee it that the Cowboys job came open. He and his camp did back channels, and they didn't think it was opening up, or he would not have went to Chapel Hill.
Yeah.
You think he leaves? Think he pulls the Jets? Leaves?
No,
no, I don't. But I think he's mad that it has now opened up. But
I think he leaves. I think he tells him. I think Gary Payton.
I kind of hope. I would be hilarious.
He wouldn't care if there's one guy sports. He wouldn't care. I did see good old Dion came out and said he's not going anywhere. I saw he said that today. He said it was great to speak to Jerry. They're on the phone, process it. But I love this university. I love our kids. I love the community.
I bet the Raiders
I get drafted. That's why.
I bet the Raiders call. He'd pick up.
Oh boy. I'd rather them get him than Ben Johnson. That's my fear as a Bronco fan. They're gonna get Ben Johnson, and he might actually turn him around in this.
I'd be more worried about them getting Pete Carroll.
Dude, 74 years old. Good coach, but and they have nothing besides the city of Vegas. What do they have?
We have a comment here from Mitch Melton.
Yeah, I'm confused what Mitch is asking here. Will UNLV compete in the Big Ten?
Is he assuming because we got some of UNLV players?
Yeah.
UNLV 2.0.
It's a good question.
James Madison did.
I was about to say the same thing.
I saw James Madison got UNLV's quarterback today, the one that caused all that fuss. I forget his name.
Well, hopefully got his money.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't think he got paid a bunch of James Madison.
Well, Mitch responded yes. So
who's your pick for Monday? for the championship. Our
Ohio
favorite
State.
game.
Ohio State. Yeah. It's hard to stomach, but I'll root for them over Notre Dame every day, twice. But Mitch, it'll be interesting to see how this. I mean, of course, going from the Mountain West up to the Big Ten is different. You're going to play a lot of different talent, but just got to trust in the coaches, I guess.
Yep, that's year one.
Yep.
Probably not expecting a lot.
No,
our win total should be better than last year. Just in the first.
Could be after the first 2 weeks.
If he goes over into the first 2 weeks, I think we need to claim the insurance policy on Ross Ed and just implode it.
Yeah, if we go the 0-2 the first 2 weeks, just send us to play Manchester University and Franklin College and DePaul. DePaul's pretty damn good.
How about Ivy Tech? How about St. Joe? Colleges that don't exist.
West Lafayette High School, the Red Devils, they're right down the road. Yeah.
You don't have to pay them to travel.
That's true. That's true.
I actually don't. If they somehow lay an egg and go 0-2, I don't know if they could be like Crown Point or any 6-8.
Oh boy. Hopefully we don't have to worry about that. Hopefully they come out guns a-blazing against Ball State and Southern Illinois.
Well, we're still negative, I think, on players incoming from what we've lost.
Right.
So he's going to have to definitely go into the second window of the transfer portal. Hopefully there's not a lot of turnover there in the spring for the staff. I think what you've mentioned is continuity in regards to not only him and players he had at UNLV, but his staff. Definitely knowing that terminology is going to kickstart and give those guys legs up in camp because they already know what to kind of expect. The problem is, I think you just creating a culture. You can't create a culture in 2 months, 3 months.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's kind of what I'm expecting is very little on the field success. But I think the only thing we can ask for is continued effort and improvement throughout the season. Play
hard.
Yeah.
Discipline.
Don't play stupid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's not have penalties because this would be the first time in like 10 years.
Yeah.
I would love to then compare that. The amount of penalties that we haven't seen since Darrell Hazel just blows my mind. But hopefully, finally, we're a disciplined football team. We'll see what that leads to in the future and, where he wants to build this program. Because
it'll be a very intriguing spring ball this year, more intriguing than it has been in a long time.
I'd agree.
Lord knows we can't. I don't think we can fire him. I mean, paying all this money.
No, I think, yeah. Like Evan and I were saying back when we were talking about the coaching process, Purdue can't be doing this again in 2 years.
Nope.
No.
They just can't. I mean,
I just realized something. I want to change my bold prediction.
Okay.
Go for it.
Ryan Walters will be attending Wednesday night.
Oh my God.
Oh.
I didn't even think about that.
He probably will.
Bold
why
prediction.
not? Yeah. Think Bobo's out there saying hi to him?
Probably handing him his check.
Wow. That was fantastic.
Oh,
I didn't even put that together.
I hope he's sitting courtside talking smack. I hope he is. Just for
doing this with his hat. Yeah. Doing his dancing back and forth.
I hope he is.
Swag, I'm surfing swags.
That would be great.
Yes.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. No, I hope he does well, except against Purdue. I wish the guy well. I do. I'm too bad it didn't work out.
Yeah. Well, I think his dad's out there. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think his
family's out there.
Correct. Because I know his dad's the chief legal officer at Microsoft, so I didn't know if he was there at DC office.
He landed on his feet just fine. I did not think he'd get a Power 4 DC job that quick.
Yeah.
I thought he might get a position coach job.
The only thing I unless he has a different address, he better be having his pay stubs sent somewhere else to a different account and a different address because Washington taxes. You don't want to have that double dipping checks out there on this. Ryan, if you're listening here, call me.
Yeah, and please don't build a house. Don't build a house.
Well, you can live with family. Just
maybe rent for a little bit.
Yeah,
Give it a year.
Let's get those checks sent to Texas. We don't want income tax.
Supposedly our past DC was building a house too. So
Really?
mhm.
Hey, new home supply in West Lafayette. Great.
Just don't know who's in the market to buy those type of homes, but it's all right.
This current staff.
Just the guys on
Yeah,
staff,
that's true. How awkward would that be?
Well,
Take the
didn't
job,
Walters
now give me the keys.
Didn't Walters take Brahm's house?
Yeah,
for a
I
little
think
bit?
the university bought that house
Yeah, I think
or
they did,
something,
yeah.
and then yeah, he was living there for a little bit at least.
Had to kick what's his face out of the basement.
Greg, get the hell out, Greg. Take your air mattress and get out.
Well,
man,
it's gonna be interesting. I hope we do see Walters tomorrow night. That'd be great.
I didn't even think about that.
I didn't
Now I'm
even think about
really
that. That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I hope he is. I really do hope he is there. That'd be kind of cool.
yeah.
No,
Did you see? Maybe. Did you see the guy? There's a guy who played for Rutgers that transferred to UCLA for basketball. He was at their game the other night, and he had a R UCLA shirt. I hope Walters is wearing a Purdue Washington shirt.
I hope he's just wearing his Purdue hat still.
Highly doubt it.
With the Washington W just taped on it.
I hope
be
he's
great.
wearing a vintage Sun Bowl hat or Rose Bowl hat with Washington
go.
and Purdue on it.
There you go. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
This went off the rails.
He's totally fine.
Yeah.
He's getting 2 paychecks.
Yeah.
He did it right. Godspeed to him.
Yeah.
Speaking of guy getting 2 paychecks, shout out to Tom Allen. What talking about landing on your feet?
He's got to get a head coaching job somewhere eventually.
He is,
not like maybe not Power 4, but absolutely.
Would it be 3? No, because they would have to buy out the defensive coordinator contract. He would still be getting checks from IU.
Yeah.
So
Well, he's done well. He's done well.
wonder how Mullins' checks are, because I don't know when Florida's checks are done to him and ESPN's.
Is Notre Dame done paying Charlie Weiss yet? On top of Brian Kelly?
No, they're not paying Kelly.
I know. And I know they're done with Weiss, but they literally were paying that guy up until like 5 years ago.
Evan, what's your prediction on Monday night? We'll go predictions.
I think Ohio State, but I think it's like 31-27. It's going to be a tight
Well,
one.
I'll throw up.
2 really good defenses. I think Ohio State has if they play like they should play, they've got the horses to just absolutely run them out of the. I mean, Notre Dame secondary were pretty elite, so I wouldn't say run them off the field, but I mean,
There's NFL talent all over the field.
Yeah,
Mhm.
minus Will Howard and minus the quarterback.
Both quarterbacks.
Yeah, I was
Yes.
gonna say yeah.
But I think it's gonna be. I hope it's. I mean, it's gonna be a good game. I don't want it to be, but I also kind of want it to be just from a viewer standpoint. But
Yeah.
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 I feel like I've got friends who don't know me from like growing up and stuff, and so like, oh, you cheering for Notre Dame? And I'm like, God, no,
No.
absolutely not.
Cheered for him once. That was
Cheered for
enough.
him once, and it was tough. It was tough. It was like them, and then Meteor was like,
Yeah,
just
no, it
below.
really was. It really was.
Okay,
And
we
he
didn't
got-
want the meteor to happen because we'd all die.
And
Yeah.
I got into it with a guy on X. Well, one guy accused me of hating Marcus Freeman. That's why I root against Notre Dame. I'm like, no, that's not
Quite the
point at
opposite,
all.
actually, for me.
I'm like my teams. This is still a rival with my team. They
Yeah.
played every year from 43 to 2014, and they play for the next 4 years. Play for a trophy, even though Notre Dame probably doesn't know where it's at. Probably got to go find it across campus in a storage closet, C somewhere. But
Probably in the grotto, probably.
Brian Kelly actually packed it away. It's down in Baton Rouge. Like, oh shit, forgot I had this.
reliving his glory days. This was a lot more fun. Now we're getting beat by Vanderbilt. Not really, but I think it's 30-13 Ohio State. I think it's close in the first half, and then Ohio State opens up in the second half.
I just want to see
Gross.
the pregame pep talk from Ryan Day. He really just needs to tell these guys and throw a chair like Brom and say, I paid $20 million for you all.
I hope
And then bleep, bleep, bleep.
he has a
bleep, bleep.
picture of like Lou Holtz up in the locker room and just like takes a chair to it or something.
He'd become my second favorite coach ever if he did that.
Yeah.
Ryan, if you're listening,
Yeah.
excuse.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. It's I feel dirty rooting for Ohio State, but I'd root for Ohio State over Indiana, Notre Dame. Right
I
now,
swear,
Colorado.
Totally changed. I swear I saw
Illinois.
Cole Brevard on the sideline of Texas the other day. I could have
suppose
sworn.
he could be
He can be.
if he's enrolled
yeah,
as a student.
You can
There
just
was
be
like the camera panned like real quick. I was like, I pretty sure that was Cole Brevard.
Yeah, you can be part of the program.
Yeah, I
since
figured
you're
yeah, no problem. Yeah.
Max Calero probably on the sidelines for Ohio State.
Yep.
All
All right.
This was fun. I guess we gotta talk about the shop real quick.
Yes. Bring it up here.
Yeah, sponsored by the shop. I've got my drum script sweatshirt on. Making shirts since 2011, boiler owned. Started out in garage, and they've got 3 retail locations around Indianapolis, 1 in Carmel, 1 in Broad Ripple, 1 in downtown. If you're in Indy sometime soon, sorry for all the ice on the road, but check them out if you can. But if you're not, if you want to stay home, check out the shopindy.com. Use promo code breakdown. You get 25% off. That's for any order. They just released a new shirt. It was kind of a redesign of an old shirt. They changed the color. Looks really good, and then they were hinting at a new drop coming soon. So we'll post it on our socials for sure. But incredible stuff, super comfortable. I guess if you're an Ohio State fan, they sell Ohio State.
I was gonna say, yeah.
They actually have
for
some
whatever
cool
reason,
stuff.
if you're an Ohio State fan listening to this or watching this,
Yeah,
they actually were pushing that big time yesterday.
Yeah, they got some cool stuff. And they don't supply Notre Dame, so even more reason to like them. So check them out, shopindy.com. Promo code breakdown, 20% off your entire order, and you can use it more than once.
Yeah, they're like Evan always says, their shirts are so soft. So, any final thoughts, fellas?
Purdue's like 7-0 playing in the West Coast, like on the Northwest. So let's make it 9-0.
Amen. Aaron, thanks for filling in for me earlier. Appreciate it, man. You're always welcome. It's always fun.
Thought it could be part time.
Let's boiler up, hammer down, beat the Huskies and the Ducks.
Boiler up.
Boiler up.